replication mechanism of DNA. Actually, the DNA replication mechanism consists of these following steps. So, number one step is the origin of replication. Okay. Origin of replication means the particular point where actually the replication starts. Means in the structure of DNA, at a particular spot, replication starts or begins. This particular part is called origin of replication or ORI. In prokaryotes, mainly in case of bacteria and virus, there is only a single origin of replication. Okay. And it functions as a single replicating unit, which is called replicon. Means in a particular structure of DNA, only from a one place the replication is starting, and the particular area means they have a single origin of replication, and this unit is called replicon. But in case of eukaryotes, there are a number of origin of replication. Means within a particular structure of a DNA, from so many points or so many parts, replication can be started. That's why it is referred to as multi-repliconic. Clear? So origin of replication means the particular place from where the replication begins. This is called the origin of replication. Now, second process is activation of deoxyribonucleotides. Actually, deoxyribonucleotides is made up of, we know that, one phosphate group, one deoxyribose sugar, and one nitrogenous base. According to the nitrogenous base, these are of 4 types, because we know that nitrogenous bases are of 4 types, but these deoxyribonucleotides are present freely inside the nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm means inside the nucleus. These deoxyribonucleotides are not the part of the DNA. These are free deoxyribonucleotides that are present inside the nucleoplasm or the cytoplasm of nucleus. These occurs freely. As we know that the nitrogen bases are of 4 types. According to this, deoxyribonucleotides are also 4 types. Suppose in the nucleotide structure, if the nitrogenous base is adenosine, then it is called deoxyadenosine monophosphate. Similarly, deoxyguanosine monophosphate, deoxycytidine monophosphate, where cytosine is present. Similarly, deoxythymidine monophosphate. Why monophosphate? Because we know that in the structure of deoxyribonucleotides, see in the previous classes we have already discussed that only one phosphate group is there. Okay. Just keep in mind that at the same time within the DNA, the replication begins, and within the nucleoplasm, some deoxyribonucleotides that occurs freely, they become phosphorylated. Phosphorylated means, see, in all of these nucleotides having monophosphate means one phosphate group. Now, in the presence of energy and phosphorylase enzyme, they combines with H3PO4 and become phosphorylated. Means this monophosphate means become triphosphate. Means each of these deoxyribonucleotides having one phosphate group, but now 2 phosphate groups are added and it becomes triphosphate. DATP means deoxyadenosine triphosphate. It is the deoxyadenosine monophosphate converted into triphosphate. Similarly, guanosine triphosphate, cytidine triphosphate, deoxythymidine triphosphate. So, the deoxyribonucleotides which occurs as a monophosphate and occurs freely in the nucleoplasm, in the presence of phosphorylase enzyme and energy, they become phosphorylated and converted into triphosphate. Okay, actually they are added and new strands are formed, and secondly they also provide the energy for polymerization reactions. That's why the free deoxyribonucleotides of nucleoplasm become activated or become phosphorylated and converted into triphosphates. From monophosphate they converted into triphosphate. Clear? Exposure of parent DNA strand. Parent DNA strand exposure means Exposure means they have to unwind. But who will unwind? The enzyme helicase, also known as unwindase. They acts over the ori site. Ori site means the origin of replication, where replication starts. At that point, this enzyme acts and unwinds the two strands of DNA. See, we know that here it is a DNA. These two strands are connected with the hydrogen bond. So whenever we have to separate it, means we have to break this hydrogen bond. See, this hydrogen block is broken down here. So unwinding means we have to break this hydrogen bond between these two strands. So which enzyme will act or helps to binding this hydrogen bond? Enzyme helicase or unwindage. See, in this way the DNA helicase acts over there so that it become unwinded, means exposure of the two strand. This is one of the strand, this is the second strand, and see at that point it's look like a Y-shaped structure when it is opened. That's why it is called replication fork. Clear? Replication fork. And when it is exposed, when the DNA strands are exposed, means the parental strand, this is the original DNA strand, first strand, second strand, they become exposed in this way. Here SSBP protein is there. SSBP protein means single strand binding protein, which helps to stabilize the single strands. Okay, mainly these strands are stabilized by this protein when they are get exposed. Okay, but due to this exposure or unwinding, a tension is created or a supercoil gets developed on the end of DNA opposite to the replicating fork. Means it is the replicating fork, in the opposite direction a tension is created, but this is released by the enzyme topoisomerase. See, this is the topoisomerase. This topoisomerase, what they do? They release the tension that is created due to the unwinding or exposure of the DNA. This is the function of topoisomerase. And helicase, what they do? They break the hydrogen bonds and unwind or expose the two DNA strands. But in case of prokaryotes, there is no topoisomerase is present. DNA gyrase perform the same function of topoisomerase. This is the difference between prokaryotic DNA replication and eukaryotic DNA replication. Clear? So now formation of RNA primer. This is the two strand. First strand in the direction 3' to 5'. This is the second strand 5' to 3'. At the 3' end of one strand, means this is the first strand in this place, and the fork end of the second strand means this end. A small strand of RNA is synthesized with the help of DNA dependent enzyme that is known as RNA polymerase or primase. So with the help of RNA primase or polymerase, in case of first strands in this position and in case of second strand in this position, small RNA segment or small strand of RNA is synthesized, and this is called RNA primer. Clear? This is called RNA primer. Here and here RNA primer is synthesized. Actually it is 4 to 5 nucleotides long. It is about its length. RNA primer functions as 5' end of the new strand. Suppose this is the old strand or the parental strand. New strand is synthesized over there in this position, and in this strand here the new strand is going to be formed. So always the RNA primer function as 5' end. Means if it is the 3' direction and it is a 5' direction, so RNA primer is synthesized here, means it functions as 5' end of the newly synthesized strand. Here also, here it is the parental strand 5', 3'. So RNA prime always function as 5' end, because the strand which is going to be synthesized, it has a 5' end in this position. Okay, it provides the 3-hydroxyl group from joining of the DNA. Means when here nucleotide is added, it helps to provide the 3' end, because we know that in the structure of DNA the 3' end of the sugar helps to join with the other phosphate of nucleotide. So it is written here, it provides 3' OH group for joining of the DNA nucleotides. So when nucleotides are come together, it helps, this 3' end helps to join the nucleotides, and ultimately new DNA strand is formed here and here. Okay. The two separated DNA strands in the area of replication fork now function. Means the separated DNA strands at the site of replication fork, now they become active. We know that their nitrogenous bases, means here some nitrogenous bases are present of this strand, and this parent strand attracts the complementary phosphorylated nucleotides. Means the nucleotides at the previous step we have seen that the sum of the nucleotides that are free in the nucleoplasm become phosphorylated. Now their nitrogenous base, means the parental strand's nitrogenous base, attracts with the complementary phosphorylated nucleotides. Okay. So now again the triphosphates that are formed due to the phosphorylation, now they, in the presence of pyrophosphatase enzyme, again they converted into deoxyadenosine monophosphate, guanosine monophosphate, cytidine monophosphate, atrazine monophosphate. Again come back to the previous form, means monophosphate form, because we know that monophosphate form because one phosphate or monophosphate group is added or present in the nucleotides of the DNA structure. That's why they become losses the 2-phosphate from this structure. Here 3-phosphate residues are present, they lost 2-phosphate and energy, okay, and become monophosphates. This released energy is used in the building of hydrogen bonds, because again hydrogen bonds are required. We know that the 2 strands, so in this position the new strands that are going to be synthesized, they have to be connected through hydrogen bonds. For connecting this hydrogen bond or building this hydrogen bond, again this energy is required. Clear? New strand formation. New strand formation means, suppose these are the parental strand or template strand. In this position new strands are going to be synthesized, and for this new DNA or new strand formation or synthesis, some enzyme is required. In prokaryotes DNA polymerase III is required, wherein in eukaryotes DNA polymerase delta and epsilons are required. Not only these enzymes, also Mg2 positive, ATP, GTP, TPP, means tripyrophosphate, thiamine pyrophosphate, DNA polymerase III, these are also required, so that the nucleotides are connected with each other through the phosphodiester bonds, because we know that all the nucleotides are connected through their phosphodiester bond and get linked to form replicated DNA strand. Means in this position it is a parental strand, here nucleotides are adjacent nucleotides come and join with each other through the phosphodiester bond. Now see, in the previous picture we have seen that here RNA primer is synthesized, and this RNA primer is synthesized. Why they synthesize? This RNA primer is synthesized to add the nucleotide. In this way they add this nucleotide and to form a DNA strand. But now the time is come that when RNA primer have to be removed. Okay, now in the position RNA primers are present, they have to be removed, and the gap filled with the complementary nucleotides by means of DNA pol 1, and the nucleotides that are present here, and the gap is filled by the complementary nucleotide by DNA polymerase 1. Next interesting thing is that, see, 2 strands of DNA run in anti-parallel direction. So two templates provide different ends of replication. Obviously, it means that this is the one parental strand, this is the one. It starts with 3' end to 5' end direction, and this starts with 5' end to 3' means anti-parallel direction. So it means that replication over the two template proceeds in opposite direction, obviously. So if here replication starts in this direction, on this template strands replication occurs in this direction, opposite direction. One strand with polarity 3' to 5' forms its complementary strand continuously. Means this strand 3' to 5' polarity, they form the complementary strand here continuously. See, continuously, without any breaking or without any parts. Continuously they form a strand. This is called leading strand. Okay, but in this case where it is 5' end and this is 3' end, where DNA is synthesized in this direction, but here the new strand is synthesized in discontinuous manner in the form of small segment. See, small segment. These segments are called Okazaki fragments. Here in this direction DNA is synthesized in continuous manner, but here see discontinuously it is formed in the form of small segment. Okay, and these segments of replicated DNA are called Okazaki fragments. Each of them has 1000 to 2000 base pairs in prokaryotes, whereas 100 to 200 base pairs in eukaryotes. So this is not so necessary point. This is the just basic difference. But now the question is that why here the strand is formed in continuous manner, but here in the form of discontinuous manner. Actually, when the DNA replication is started in this direction, in this direction, so when it unwinds, see, now it unwinds more. So when it unwinds, as its direction is in this way, as the formation of leading strand always occurs in this way, so whenever the strands is going to unwind, it's also continuously or simultaneously start synthesizing the new strand. But in this case, suppose up to this new strand formation is completed, up to this length, suppose up to this length complementary strand is formed here. But when the DNA's parental strand unwinds up to at this region again unwind, means here in this way if they unwinds, so it means that again in this position a gap is created. So again RNA primer is required in this position, and again it is required to synthesize the Okazaki fragments. Later these Okazaki fragments again reunited. So for that reason here in this direction the DNA synthesis occurs in discontinuous manner in the form of small fragments. That's why it is called lagging strand. This is called leading strand, because the synthesis of this strand occurs in this direction, means unwinding of DNA, and the synthesis of leading strand occurs in both same direction. When it occurs, it again extends, but as it starts from here and it goes to this direction, so then when it goes to this direction a gap is created here. For that again RNA primer is required here, and it occurs in discontinuous manner. Clear? Here leading strand and lagging strand. Lagging strand means these Okazaki fragments are connected. Okazaki fragments are at last joined by the enzyme DNA ligase and ultimately build the lagging strand, as it is a discontinuously formed, but here it is continuously formed in case of leading strand. Okay, so this is the basic difference, leading strand and lagging strand. Go through this, but it's required for only the NEET examination, not for the board examination. Clear? Second step is proofreading. Proofreading means a wrong base is sometimes introduced during replication. When the base pairing is occurred, sometimes wrong base is incorporated, but it's 1 in 10,000 cases, most frequent case. For this correction, DNA polymerase 3 is required. Okay, it goes back, check either correct base is incorporated or not. If there is any wrong base is incorporated, what they do, they correct it. So this is the function of DNA polymerase 3. But one problem is that DNA polymerase 3 is unable to distinguish uracil from thymine. Okay, so DNA pol 3 can't recognize this correction. So DNA pol 1 requires, and this removes this mismatch or wrong nucleotides. So generally DNA polymerase 3 is required for proofreading or to detect the wrong if any incorrect base is incorporated. But in case of uracil, it can't distinguish uracil from thymine. So that's why DNA pol 1 removes this mismatch or if present. Okay, this is the proofreading part. And the newly formed segment is sealed by DNA ligase again. So DNA ligase again, the newly formed segments connects here also. The Okazaki fragments are also sealed by DNA ligase to form a lagging strand. So this is the basic DNA replication process. Though the prokaryotic DNA replication and eukaryotic replications, our process is same, but the occurrence, such as it occurs in cytoplasm, it occurs in nucleus, and in some view of points there are some basic differences there, especially due to the function of different enzymes. But this is also for the NEET exam. Okay, so go through this.